Alright, we're going long on NASDAQ here, looking for higher prices. This is during the 9:50, 10:10 a.m. macro. Entering off of a 15-second BISI, or it's like a BISI suspension block. And I'm looking to see if we could dig in and dig into some of this buy side that we had created from open. So prior to that suspension block, we had a order block that was respected, as well as a fair value gap. And originally on the 1 minute, price didn't look as clean, so I was kind of cycling through some of the sub 1 minute time frames, and I noticed that the 15-second looked cleaner. It wasn't the cleanest setup, but it looked much cleaner than the 1 minute. So yeah, I entered off of that suspension block. Could have been a little bit more patient, maybe set a limit order, but I didn't want it to run away from me. And you notice at the start of that macro open, we get that that order block. So I waited to see how we reacted with it, and once I noticed that price had respected that order block, I was looking for another PDRA to potentially enter on, whether that be that same order block or a fair value gap. And when we got that BISI that's highlighted in blue there, BISI slash bullish suspension block, that's where I saw my entry. But I could have been a little bit more patient with my entry. I should have set a limit order. And we decided to target the 1 minute first presented fair value gap consequent encroachment. I saw that as an easy target. Right below, you had these relatively equal highs that had formed at 9:35. So I was aware of that as well, but being that it was inside the first presented fair value gap on the 1 minute, and right above it we had the consequent encroachment, as well as the new day opening gap. I believe that was from yesterday. I saw that as a nice area that price would want to gravitate to. Also on the 15-minute, we had traded out of, I believe, a bearish fair value gap. This is on my Lucid funded account. So I like how we traded into that BISI, traded in the lower half, failed to close below it. I would have been stopped out if I closed below it. I have my stop right below that that BISI, but yeah, see, the 1 minute looks a little sloppy, so I decided to just stay on the 15-second. Faced a little bit of drawdown on this trade, but we stuck to our guns and it worked in our favor. But I like how we traded in the lower half, failed to close below that suspension block, traded above it, and now we're starting to trade directly above. We traded above in the upper half, and now we're starting to trade above the suspension block. So now I'm looking to see if we disrespect that SIBI that we had formed that traded back into the suspension block. Starting to reach into that first presented fair value gap. We're also trading out of a 5-minute SIBI that I want to be treated as an inversion fair value gap. And as we take out that intermediate high, I remove more of my risk. Start to take some risk off the table. So now I want to see us reach for that consequent encroachment of the first presented 1-minute fair value gap. I don't want to see retracements. Again, I'm looking at that SIBI that's to the left of price that had traded back into the suspension block. I want that to act as support. And at this point in the trade, I go break even. I want to remove my risk. And we're so close to our terminus. This run was actually a 128 handle run. So I took 48 handles out of it. I'm not in my office. I'm not really in my typical trading setting. So couldn't stay longer in this trade, but still made out with 48 handles. And that's all she wrote.